It's finals time. Everything goes up a notch or 10. I think it'll be hard for the Dockers, but I also think the Dockers are now more settled than last time they played against Hawthorn over here. I think they're a strong, powerful lineup. I'm confident Freo can do it for their home crowd and for WA.
Well, welcome to the West Sports Show. This episode is brought to you by TabTouch. The more you know, the better it gets. Download the TabTouch app today. Real punters play here. What are you really gambling with? It's Thursday, so we're back. But I'm back with a special guest. Hello, Rick Ardon.
Quarters, how are you? Great to be here. Looking forward to the finals. Can't wait.
Absolutely. Look, I just want to introduce you here because what we do know is that you and Susanna Carr hold the official Guinness World Records title for the longest-serving television news anchor duo in the world. Congratulations.
Thank you. I try to tell people I started when I was 10, but they don't believe me.
No. Awarded the title in 2022. Now, you beat New York WNBC news anchors Chuck Scarborough and Sue Simmons, who lasted 32 years. Have you ever met them?
No, but I've talked to Chuck by email, and a lovely guy. He's now retired in New York. He's mid-80s now, I think, so we're much younger than that, fortunately.
Now, you've been hosting the 6 p.m. Bulletin on 7 News Perth for 41 years, starting in 1985. Incredible. Have delivered over 10,000 bulletins together. You started your career at the West Australian in 1977. In 86, you won the Logie Award for Most Popular Male. Sue won Most Popular Female. And you've won 10 Logie Awards in total. 7 News Perth has remained number one at 6 p.m. each week since OzTam ratings began in 2001. That is some record.
All true, but let's talk footy. People don't want to be bored about history. Let's talk footy. It's exciting.
Let's do that. But I want to start with your own. So we knew that, but what a lot of people don't know is you've got something of a decorated amateur football career, Rick. Started playing at age 4 for Inglewood. Tell me about that. What are your first memories of playing footy?
I remember blue and white down at Hamer Park, and I always loved footy. I loved watching. My dad was a Perth supporter. We'd go down on the old stump stand at Subi Oval, watch them play, and they were the good premiership years when I was a little older. I think 66, 67, 68, Perth won 3 in a row. So I loved my footy. I really did. I still do. I still miss playing.
Started playing amateurs at 19 at Nollamara, and that team had a nickname. What was it?
It was Knucklemara. It was just down the road from Channel 7 where I joined from the West, and so it was easy to train there after work on a Tuesday and Thursday night. But boy, am I glad I played in the same team as some of those guys. They were tough.
I think I'm the same. I played, when I came over here from Melbourne, I played 2 years with Bull Creek Leeming, and they were the toughest team in the comp, and I was thankful I was playing with them, not against them.
Yep.
Now, you played mainly in the ruck, but also at full back and full forward.
Yep.
400 games, including Churchlands and West Coast amateurs, where Ken Judge was your coach.
He was.
What was the best advice Ken Judge gave you?
He actually put me at centre-half back for the pre-season A-grade matches, and Tim Jepp will tell you, good old Jeppy, that I used to like to go hard or go home. But he came up to me one night and said, look, because you can't complete a full training session Tuesdays and Thursdays because of your work, we're going to have to put you in the reserves team. So, that was fine. I got to be a better player in the reserve team than I would have been in the A-grade. But my memory of Judgy was pre-season, because ruckmen don't like running a lot on hard surfaces because of our knees. He said, righto, from City Beach Oval, we're running down to the Swanbourne SAS barracks on the footpath and on the road, and it wasn't fun.
Now, 3 national carnals for WA at full forward. So you wore the black and gold for the state 45-year-old team. You won all 3 carnivals, including in Sydney and Darwin. Now, I've got here, you kicked 11 goals 2 for WA against Victoria in Sydney, and you're named at full forward in the All-Australian team and WA's best player across all WA teams. That's a pretty good day out, 11-2.
Well, I have to say we had a great team. I mean, they were firing the ball lace out. But it was great beating the Big V. They ran out like the Victorian state side, but we were quicker, more nimble than them, and it was really good fun. And our centre-half forward, a guy named Rick Swarbrick, jokes he kicked 2 goals. He'll tell anyone who listens that we kicked 13 goals between us.
You tore a rotator cuff in a WA team against Tasmania in Darwin. You played strapped up a week later for the Eagles in the first Maney game. Is that right?
I did. Oh, at Subi Oval, I couldn't miss it. The doctor said, don't do it. I had to, strapped up. And, I love playing with the old Eagles against the old Dockers.
The favourite memory in that game? Because I know what's coming here.
Well, I think it was about 20,000 people. It was great playing in front of 20,000 people instead of the usual 200 or 300 we're used to in the amateurs. But strapped up, shouldn't have lifted the left arm because I'm left-handed. But I saw an opportunity, boundary throw in. I saw Peter Matera arriving. I had to go up over the back of the pack, tack it down to Matera, and he set sail for home.
Fantastic. So you played in 5 premierships with some great teams. Gave it up at 50. Why?
I did because I'd done my rotator cuff.
Okay.
And I thought it's time to not play anymore because as you get older, I guess you get more injury prone. But gee, I miss at quarters. I miss running out the team.
The smell of Denko rub,
running out.
Gets me every time.
Oh, me too. And the camaraderie, it was a lot of fun. They were some of the best days of my life.
Now let's talk some AFL. Before we
please.
do, let's get the latest odds from our old mate David Short at Tab Touch.
The Punter's Playbook, brought to you by Tab Touch.
Well, David Short from Tab Touch is with us. Welcome, Shorty.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Talk us through the premiership market at Tab Touch, and it's looking like a bit of a 2-horse race.
Yeah, you're spot on. The punters have narrowed it down to 2 key prospects, Brisbane and Freo, both at 285. Then we're down to Hawthorn at 8, Geelong 15, Adelaide 19, Sydney that same quote for a side that finished second to be 19. Gives you an idea of how things have been going there. Carlton at 34, Melbourne 41, and then the 2 outsiders, Collingwood at 67 and the Dogs at $81.
Obviously, plenty of interest in how the Dockers will go in their finals opener next week. Haven't lost at home all season long. What's the market looking like for that one?
Yeah, they're pretty warm favourites at $1.40. $3 the Hawks. The line is at 16.5 points. Can't wait for next Thursday.
And the first of the wildcard matches for this weekend, the Dogs and the Pies. How's that shaping up?
Should be a beauty, this one. Not much separating them in betting. The Dogs $1.95, Pies $1.85. The giveaway there, the skinny line, just 1.5 points.
And Melbourne against Carlton in the other wildcard game. The D's finishing higher but going in as underdogs to this one.
They do, and that's just market driven. So they actually opened up as the favourites at $1.85, Melbourne, but they've drifted right out to $2.15. All the money's been for the Blue Baggers. They're into $1.70 now, and that line now sits at 6.5 points.
And looming as vital in that game, your player to watch?
The big man, Max Gawn. And what a performance. 9 All-Australian Blazers earlier in the week, and he's finished this season off really strong. So 3 of his last 4 games, 25-plus disposals for a big man that's getting all the hit-outs. It's pretty special. He's paying $2.25 to get 25 or more possessions this weekend, and he does bob up and kick the occasional goal. He's at $2.32 to kick a goal or more in that game.
David Short, Tab Touch, thanks so much for your time.
Cheers, Robbo.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
So, Rick, wildcard round. Are you a fan?
Well, I think it's an AFL money-making venture. I think it's exciting for the fans, but I like the bounce as well, the umpires bouncing, the vagaries of which way it goes.
So do I.
I mean, there have been some shallow throw-ups lately. A couple of commentators have tried to say, they're just making it a bit different. I don't think so. I think that they just didn't throw it up high enough. But, look, I'm not a traditionalist. You have to move with the times. But, this is the first year of the wild card round, so let's see what happens. I have to say, though, 2 exciting clashes. They really are, 4 evenly placed teams, and we should talk about how the 2 teams will line up against each other in a while if we have time.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with the bounce. I reckon they should start each quarter with the bounce. Interestingly, last week, in the build-up to wildcard round, had Collingwood been playing in the old system, they'd be playing for 8th.
Yep.
So the game would have meant something to them. I reckon they were just going through the motions, Collingwood.
And looking at the other way too, Pendle's injured.
Yeah.
And in that match, so, should he have played?
Exactly. All-Australian selection this week, 5 Dockers in the team. Amazing.
Yep.
What are your thoughts? Anyone unlucky to miss out? Should they have had more?
Well, I think 5's a pretty good effort, and Fremantle's lost a couple, 2 out of the last 3. Not that matters in terms of the overall season, but, a couple of unlucky ones. Luke Jackson on the interchange, I thought he might have been in the team. He's sensational. I thought perhaps that Harley Reid from the Eagles might have made it, but again, lowly placed team. He's had a checkered career in terms of back chat and suspension. He's been offered, as you know, 2 weeks after the last match. So, I'm not sure if that's fair or not.
Now, let's put it out there. You do barrack for both teams. You're a West Coast fan, but Fremantle, now what happened in their last win of the season?
Apparently this went viral online. I got dragged down to the Wray Hotel by my wife, who's a mad Dockers supporter.
Okay.
She's got Dockers number plates. The Wray Hotel, for anyone who knows, is the old Beaconsfield, and it's full of mad, one-eyed Fremantle supporters like my wife. So I went there for the first time because it was an away game for the Dockers, and the crowd was going wild. The Dockers won. So the very enterprising Indian manager afterwards, they do a bit of Bollywood stuff and then he plays a few songs. He saw me thrust the microphone into my hand as the song Sweet Caroline was playing. Now, I can't resist that song, so I sang a bit.
Can you give us a line?
No.
Okay.
Sweet Caroline. There you go. But we won't bore people. We want people to keep listening. So what he did is he put it online, and I've always been an Eagles supporter, but I do like the Dockers. I'm a Dockers member by association with my wife. Some people say, you should go for one team or the other, but the Dockers deserve it. I mean, let's face it. They've been on struggle street. They've been the underdogs, but this hopefully is their year at last. They've got some hurdles in the way, though. Overcoming the hoodoo of the MCG on the day of the big dance, especially when you get Brisbane. Brisbane are coming good at the right time.
So I take it from that, you're picking a Freo Brisbane grand final?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, Fremantle, you have to remember history. Fremantle were looking okay last year. They got bounced at home in the last second, really, by Swallows against Gold Coast. So Fremantle has to win at home first. Now, they haven't lost here all season, but you'd expect them to do well. They're cohesive. But just a couple of niggles. You've got to consider a few players who have been out not for 1 week. A few players were rested last week.
Yep.
Then the week off this week. That's being out for 2 weeks. And do you interrupt your momentum as an AFL player?
Do you read much into the round 24 loss?
Hard to tell.
Dead rubber.
Well, yeah, but I thought Freo could have played a bit better unless Justin Longmuir was foxing. I don't think so. But Brisbane...
You reckon they're foxing, don't you?
No, Brisbane. No, Brisbane, I think, a bit earlier in the season. They had a big loss earlier in the season, but all I'll say is Brisbane now, I mean, you look at Logan Morris. You've got to watch out for him in the finals. 8 goals. Brilliant last week. Emerging young player. We saw him in the All-Australian ceremony. Emerging young player. You've got to look out for Brisbane's young guns who are
They've
very,
got so
very
many.
good.
People think of them as an ageing side, but they're really an emerging side.
Yeah, and Chris Fagan, the lovable granddad, is very, very clever. Don't worry about that.
So having said that, so what do you like about Freo? Why do you think they've got the goods to win the flag?
I think they're hardened now. I think they're cohesive as a team. I think their team is now settled. We discussed weeks earlier, didn't we, whether Mason Cox would replace Sean Darcy. That's come to pass.
Yeah, so
he offers more around the ground.
So you're a ruckman yourself.
Yep.
What do you think it's Mason Cox first?
Well, I do now because the rules have changed.
Yep.
It used to be that Darcy and the solid ruckman could jostle at the centre bounce. Now it's the clear run and jump. So
at the centre bounce.
At the centre bounce. So that means at the centre bounce, when you need momentum and the drive for goal, that I think Cox is a better proposition because he can get a clearer tap.
What about you can still wrestle around the ground though?
Yep.
So is there a place for Darcy?
Well, I'm not sure now. He's missed a lot of, and I love him, Sean Darcy. He's a favourite son of Fremantle, but he's missed a lot of footy now. He is injury prone, so that concerns me a little.
Devil's advocate. So we're looking to the qualifying final.
Yeah.
A devil's advocate. Last time they played round 9, Wharfie time.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Wharfie time?
I was there. It was exciting. It was at Hawthorn, I think
it was.
And Hawthorn were
spooked.
Were spooked by it. It was actually overwhelming, and I would have loved to have been out in the ground because I don't give a rat, so to speak, about that sort of thing. But for the younger players at Hawthorn, I think they were spooked. I think even the senior players. So I hear they've been replicating Wharfie time. And I hear they've talked to psychologists too about how to get around Wharfie time. I reckon that's great. It's intimidatory, and I reckon it's fantastic for Freo.
Do you like the fact that they're judicious with it too? They haven't rolled it out since.
Yep.
They actually rolled it out.
Yeah.
In the elimination final against Gold Coast. Didn't work from them, but it certainly worked in round 9 against Hawthorn.
Well, I hear Simon Garlick is the person who decides.
Maybe. I think Kelly Black might be.
Yeah, well, maybe Kelly Black too, but I think you're right. It's been judiciously introduced, and it stirred the crowd up when they played it. Freo came from behind and won.
As I said, devil's advocate. Last time they played, second quarter, Tom Barrass leaves the ground with a hamstring complaint.
Yep.
Josh Weddle on a wing has to slide back into defence to play key position on Jai Amos. So they lose a key midfield runner. And there was no Will Day in that team.
Oh, look, Will Day.
What sort of a Hawthorn do you think Fremantle's going to confront?
Look, it's finals time. Everything goes up a notch or 10. It really is supercharged. So I think it'll be hard for the Dockers, but I also think the Dockers are now more settled than last time they played against Hawthorn over here. I think they're a strong, powerful lineup. But you're right. Barras going off with that hamstring, and Will Day coming into that team, by gee, he's given them momentum. He's given them a lift up the ladder, I believe. With him and Barras back fit, I think it'll be a difficult proposition, but I'm confident Freo can do it for their home crowd and for WA.
And just one more thing on the Devil's advocate side of things, a small forward. So Melbourne, they were got hold of by small forwards. Carlton last round, the small forwards got hold of them. Hawthorn's got a lot of good small forwards. Is that an area of concern for Freo?
I'm not sure. When you've got Brayshaw, Sarong in there, and you've got the brilliance of
Shea Bolton.
Shea Bolton,
Murphy Reid.
What a player. Murphy Reid is going to be back too.
Yes.
So it's a delicious proposition. This final. Just got our tickets this morning, so we're very happy. It'll be a great game.
What I like about this Freo side is every line. They've got depth everywhere. They've got a good defensive depth, extraordinarily well led by Alex Pearce.
Yep.
Midfield is reasonably set. Apart from the wings, I think that's the area of improvement.
Yep.
And, of course, the forward line, the three-headed beast. Now, as well as being a ruckman, you were a forward.
I was.
Do you like this forward line, this three-pronged forward line?
I do. There's always a third choice. I mean, some weeks Amos will kick a bunch of goals. Sometimes, you'll get the other two kicking, a heap of goals too. But Josh Tracy, if he can get those hands working and that lead going and they somehow keep the forward line free for him to lead into space, I think he'll be dynamic.
When you're on the go, you can save big bucks at Thirsty Camel Bottle Shops. Shop the way you want, online and in store. There's exclusive Camel Club prices, so join the club and save. Head to the website or download the Thirsty Camel app today. Who's your favourite Dockers player?
Well, let me give you a question without notice,
okay?
Well,
I love them.
Who do you think was the most requested Dockers player for Mother's Day video messages to all the mums out there?
Great question.
Who do you think?
Oh, the most Murphy Reid?
Wasn't him?
Josh Tracy?
No.
Alex Pearce?
No.
Oh, geez, I'm running out of options
All
here. Caleb Sarong?
No.
Andy Brayshaw?
No, it was Switter.
Was it?
Sam Switkowski, yeah. A
Lovely,
favourite.
lovely young man.
He sent my wife, my kids organiser, he sent my wife a Mother's Day message. What a great guy. And the reason I mention it, he's one of my favourites and he's retiring. So well done, Switter. You've done great service.
What do you like
to the
about
Dockers.
him?
Oh, he's hard. Goes in hard. He's had a back complaint. He just goes hard. He creates opportunities around the ground. I think he's an integral part of the team.
I reckon you won't know what you've lost till it's gone. I reckon next year you'll really understand how important he was to that team.
Yeah.
Who do you like in the wildcard rounds? Let's start with Friday night, Western Bulldogs v Collingwood.
Well, I mean, the games have started. How's that? Luke Beveridge nearly fell off his chair today when he found out that Collingwood had been granted approval to train on their home ground, Marvel Stadium, and the Bullies haven't. Yeah. So we've got that. And so, but, look, the Bullies, if Aaron Norton's fit, if, Tim English is fit, two good WA boys, although Norton was born in Victoria, came over here when he was a young guy. But Tim English now, he's contracted for, another 2 seasons. He may or may not be there next year because his wife has just accepted going to New South Wales for the New South Wales Swifts for the 2027 season. So, but getting back to the game, Collingwood's lost Pendles. They've got Darcy Moore out. They've got a few players out. The Bulldogs, if they've got their injured players coming back in, they'll be formidable. I think, again, this will be an exciting game down to the wire.
Who are you picking?
I think Collingwood because they've beaten them at the G before. I think the Bullies perhaps are the slightly better team, but you can never tell with Collingwood. They seem to keep on keeping on.
I remember 3 years ago heading into the final round, you were 2 ahead of me.
Yeah.
And I had a wild swing with 3 roughies in the final round. I got them all up.
You got them.
Climbed over the top of you by 1. You were gracious enough to text me within minutes saying, well done, well played.
I've got to tell you, it's like the old days, being a big bloke. It's like you taking a hangover me. I wasn't that happy about it, but it happens. No, not really. Well done.
Saturday, Melbourne plays Carlton. What an incredible season both teams have had, really. Melbourne was not expected to feature at the deep end. Carlton, who could have seen that coming?
Look, Josh Fraser. What an effort. Got to be coach of the year.
I had a debate with someone the other day. Said he hasn't coached for long enough. I think absolutely he's coach of the year.
Well, to be fair to Vossi may have set them all up, but I just think there's spark in them now. I mean, you look at how they're playing. 11 games out of 14, 2 losses. He's won and a draw. Yeah. There's your 14. And beating the Eagles, I know it may or may not have been a dead rubber, but he's done so well. So Carlton are the up-and-coming team. Melbourne was good early, but Melbourne got to get around Max Gawn and Cozzy Pickett. I mean, have you seen...
Don't kick it to Max. That's how you beat him and stop Cozzy.
Yeah, but that's hard to do.
I
mean,
know.
Max is a brilliant ruckman. I mean, who would have thought 9 All-Australians now, including this year,
Unbelievable.
and he's playing the best footy of his life.
Okay, again, as a ruckman,
Yeah.
is he the best ruckman of the modern era? Is he better than Dean Cox?
Oh, that's a hard question.
I
Because
think he has to be with 9 All-Australian,
well,
my
look,
opinion.
Look, I'm an old Eagles supporter, as you know, but I'd say so. Coxie was a good ruckman. Coxie used to run down the wing like a rover too, bouncing the ball for a bloke 6'8". That's pretty good.
Like Polly, I
Yep.
think he revolutionised the ruck craft.
I think so too. But Max Gawn, over a long period of time, is probably the best ruckman I've seen long term in the game. He's just brilliant. He's unassuming, quiet leader. Even when Stephen May had to spray at him on camera, his expression wasn't that bad. I think Max Gawn will have a big part in this game.
I think the Blues win. 2 questions to leave. The first is, do you like the shape of the game? Do you like the game, the modern game?
I do, but I just don't like the stand rule. I don't like the tiggy touch
I
with
don't like the
imposing
stand
the
rule.
15-metre space. I just think it's interrupting the flow of footy. Fans don't like it. I know I sit around a lot of people. I know fans can be one-eyed at the game at Optus and other grounds too, but I just think it's too politically correct, perhaps, to have a player infringe running down the field trying to pick up his man. The player lures him in closer at times. I just think it's a bit too much. I'm sure fans don't like it. I don't know that umpires don't like it, but that's the way the AFL says it should be done. So that's what the AFL umpires have to do. So I'm sure there have been a few calls of yellow maggot, white maggot by fans who don't understand the umpires just have to do what the AFL wants. I think there's room. Sure, there's been some innovation. It's maybe good that the last kick out, is the lasso kick in outside the 50 arcs. It gets the game going again. Sure, it's good the ruckmen have to start at opposite sides so there's flow in the game and they're kicking more goals, which is exciting for fans. But some of the rules, I think, have gone a bit too far.
One final one,
Yep.
and then I'll ask you a question with that notice.
Sure.
Freo. So the window, I think, is 3 or 4 years for them to win a flag. So whether they win it this year or not, they're going to win one, I think, next up. How big is it going to be in Freo when they do? And obviously you'll be down there with your lovely wife. You'll go to Freo to take part in the
Look,
celebrations?
South Terrace will be absolutely loony. I know from the Wray Hotel, a small cross-section of the huge Fremantle fan base, that, you've got little Italian guys there who've got purple cars with Dockers number plates. You've got the manager there who revs his motorbike every time the Dockers are in front at the end of a quarter or at the end of the game. I think it will be huge. Make no mistake, the Fremantle fans are fanatical. They've suffered for a long time. If they win this year, there will be an outpouring of emotion Fremantle has never seen before, except for maybe during the America's Cup.
Now, one last one. Now, I have to ask you this. So another thing people would know is that you are an absolute Seinfeld fanatic. You and I are on the Seinfeld trivia team, the all-conquering Seinfeld trivia team. You're the captain of the team.
We are.
I scribble down the answers because of my amazing penmanship.
Penmanship
it's
is very
amazing,
good,
isn't
Quarters.
it? So, Uncle Leo,
Yes.
what is your favourite episode?
I'd have to say the Soup Nazi.
Why?
Where, just to explain to people who've got no idea what we're talking about, Seinfeld sitcom based in New York City and based on a real character, a person that Jerry Seinfeld visited and discovered. He thought he was like the Soup Nazi. You had to be very careful what you said, what you ordered, or you'd be kicked out. I think it's hilarious the way that they react and the way that he acts in it. And that and an episode called The Bubble Boy. Those two, I think,
The
are
Bubble
great.
Boy,
Yeah.
the Bubble Boy. All I've got to say, the contest, only because it was the first time we saw George Costanza's mum.
Yes, that's
And
true.
the
Estelle.
famous line, I go out for a quart of milk, I come home and I find my son treating his body like it's an amusement park.
That's right. Now, I can't say anything on that because I'm presenting the news tonight, so I have to be very careful what I say. But all I'll say is Seinfeld is hilarious. I enjoy being at these trivia nights because every episode you watch, all of them, 180 of them, started on July 5, 1989. There we go. And you can watch them as many times as you like. They're always funny, if you like that sort of thing.
Which character would you like to be?
I think Jerry, watching everybody going on, I don't think I could be as paranoid as George. I don't think I could be as loony as Kramer, and I certainly couldn't be
I'll put my
Elaine.
hand up. I'm Kramer every day of the week.
Well, you are.
Every day. This episode has been brought to you by Tab Touch. The more you know, the better it gets. Download the Tab Touch app today. Real punters play here. What are you really gambling with? And remember, you can watch or listen to this podcast on YouTube Music. Rick Ardon, it's been amazing. Thank you.
Loved it, mate. Talk to you again.